All right, let me share my screen. And you should be able to see the message that says live lecture beginning now. I think I'll post that also in the other class as an announcement. Just to let everybody know we're starting up. All right, tonight we're going to go over week 2 assignment. You're going to learn how to, you're going to understand how this all works. So what I want you to first, what I want to do to begin with is to, by the way, are there any questions? Oh, you're probably wondering about grading. I actually got held up on that earlier today. So that's, I'm late on grading. I'm supposed to have it done at noon. So I'm running behind. I've been doing most of the discussions, and I expect assignments and assessments to be done, if not later tonight, then first thing in the morning. Okay, all right. So I think I'll just turn off my video. And let's talk over the assignment here. You'll create a directory structure of folders containing a basic set of HTML pages. Why don't you forward that email to me, Christopher? I actually don't know. Maybe she's thinking I've completed the grading. Go ahead and forward that to me, if you would. Roger.Brown, BRWNE at independence.edu. Create a directory structure of folders containing a basic set of HTML pages width of 960 pixels containing the following elements. Index.html, which would have graphical links, menu buttons to the other .html pages. Text.html, where we have headers, paragraphs, an ordered list, and unordered list. Images.html, a logo, an image photograph of the border, an image with a caption, and ultimate text. Links.html, link to an external website, same page, a link to an external website, new page, and embedded YouTube video. Table.html, a simple 2x2 table with table header, a simple 3x3 table with table header, 4x4 table with table header. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do to introduce this, I'm going to go a little bit of a roundabout way to get you warmed up to using Dreamweaver and learning HTML. Again, I'm going to go a roundabout way. So this might seem very roundabout to you, but I am going to start in Microsoft Word. You might think, why am I starting with Microsoft Word? Well, it's because I want you to understand the concepts first, the concepts not of HTML, but really of styling, content and styling first. And what we'll do is by the way, I'm going back and forth, and I'm hoping that it shares my screen. So right now on the screen, do you see the week 2 assignment? Okay, now I'm going to do a control click here. And now do you see a blank document in Microsoft Word? Okay, good. All right, so that's working. I'm going back and forth using control right and left arrow. Just want to make sure that that's working. Okay, so index.html has graphic links to the other pages. All right, for right now, let's skip over this in discussing the concept. And let's jump to this here. The graphical links actually is going to come up later on when we link it all together. But so for right now, let's jump down to here. In fact, I just thought of something that might work for this one that you will understand in Microsoft Word. All right, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write text. I'm going to just so you can understand these concepts, I'm going to pretend like this is like our home page. I'm just going to do it in Microsoft Word for right now. So text, and then let's do another link called images. Now, the reason I'm doing it like this is just because everybody's accustomed with Microsoft Word, and I just kind of want to get you a little bit feeling like Dreamweaver is not that scary and HTML is not that scary. So let's go this route. Text, images, and then we'll have another one called links here. These are going to be like link buttons. Video. And table. Okay, so remember how you did your design for your portfolio and you had like one was about me and another one was portfolio, another one was contact me, etc. So pretend like this is our page layout of our home page for this example. And pretend like these are buttons, okay? So here, I created a button for each of these separate pages. Okay, so you can see one for text, one for images, one for links, one for video, and a table. Now, in Microsoft Word, you select the text, you can insert, click insert, a hyperlink. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert a hyperlink to, what do you think I'm going to type here? Anybody know? If you know, I'll be really impressed. If not, no worries. But what do you think I'm going to type right here? Just to kind of simulate what we're doing. Anyone have any idea? We're going to link to an existing file. Anyone have any idea? So let me explain what this means. When you click on this, it'll bring up another file. So, good, Brian. What do you think we'll put in there for that URL? Do you have any idea? That, right there. That's going to be the file name. Click OK. So now, double click, insert hyperlink. What do you think I'll type in there? Anyone? Everybody? That's right. Okay. What it really means is we're going to jump to another file. See how it puts an underline on it? Okay. Good. Insert hyperlink. Links. Come on down here, go to the next. Now, I'm just doing this so you can understand the concept. I'm not saying this is how you do your homework. I'm just wanting you to get, because this is very similar to how you do it in Dreamweaver. It's almost identical. So, but this isn't that scary, Microsoft Word. And I want you to understand that what we're doing conceptually is we're designing. Table, double click, insert, hyperlink, paste. Okay. Now we've got this document. I haven't yet saved it. I'm going to try this file, save as, and I think instead of a Word document, I think I'm going to save it as an HTML. It's almost like an HTML file. It's the same thing, pretty much. HTML file. And let's see, I'll go up on the desktop, I think, or maybe I'll do it in week 2. See, I didn't clean this out from last time I taught. We'll call this index.html. Click save. So I'm using Microsoft Word instead of Adobe Dreamweaver, but I'm doing it just so you can see the concepts. If I click on this, it's going to try to open the text.html file. Click on this, tries to open images. It says, hey, I can't find it there, links, and so on. All right, so now you kind of get the concept. Now I'm going to bring up Dreamweaver.
Chip, can I ask you a real quick question?
Sure.
What you were just doing in Microsoft Word was just a quick layout of what we're going to do in Dreamweaver as far as setting up those links of those pages?
Yeah, I'm teaching everybody how to, just the concept of what they're doing. And in fact, I'm going to see if I can just open that file directly that's not the assignment. I'm just kind of introducing Dreamweaver and HTML design. That's my goal.
Okay, I came in late, so I only caught like part of what you were doing. That's why I asked.
Okay. All right, so we've got IU. Let's see. Forget the folder I put that in. New work, week 2. Here it is right here. So these are the files that got generated. That's actually a lock file. So if I open this up, it will look just like it did. And you can disregard the code. In fact, I'll click on turn off split and just do live. Okay, I'm in Dreamweaver right now. Dreamweaver reads HTML files. So what we did is we're in here. I saved it out in the HTML file format, which is the web page format, and I opened it right here in Dreamweaver. So my goal here is to make it so that you're not that worried about what we're doing in Dreamweaver. It's just like a Microsoft. It's just like a word processor, really. Now, underneath, it will look different if you look at the code. And you don't need to understand all this because this is actually generated by Microsoft Word. That's just real scary stuff. And I'm going to get to, by the end of the hour, showing you how to just do this in HTML itself. So, if we go back to the assignment, let me get this right here. So here's Dreamweaver. That's what it looked like in Microsoft Word. Here's the assignment. So one file that has links to the other files. So this has links. We haven't made buttons, but so those are links. And then let's go on here and let's now create, I'll create a new document. I'm going to keep using this model for just a little bit more here so that you get even more familiar with it. And the next thing, we have to create this file, this text.html. We're already linking to it from this file, so we got to create this file. Now again, I'm just going to show you how this would be done in Microsoft Word. So the first thing is headers. And in Microsoft Word, so you have heading 1, heading 2. So you could do something like this, heading 1, and select that, click heading 1. So now that's styled by heading 1. Heading 2, select that, and that's heading 2. Now let's see, let's do another one here. Heading 3, and click heading 3. Heading 4. So this is just different styles of headers. Heading 5, select it, click that, and I'll finish on heading 6. Click that. Okay, so those are headings. You can see that's all that is. That's all that they're talking about when they say headers here. It should say headings. Headings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's go on. Paragraphs. Let's see. Click the paragraph mark. Let's see. This is a paragraph. This is paragraph number 1. And this is paragraph number 2. And we can put some lorem ipsum in here. There's actually a function in Microsoft Word for lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum function, like in Word. I forget how it's done. There it is right there. Okay, for repeat versus quick brown fox, let's see. Equals random for text. This is helpful in something that approximates English text. So if I type this in, this is kind of crazy, but watch this. No, that didn't work. No, that's weird. It's normally it works for me for text in the style of help information. Maybe I have to choose a help information style for that to work. Oh well, I won't worry about that. I thought we'd just generate all this lorem ipsum. That's what I want to do right there. It didn't work. Maybe it has to be at the very beginning of the line. There we go. That was interesting. Isn't that weird? So they got paragraphs for each of these, but maybe I'll just delete all that off and just leave it at that, because this is a paragraph marker, each of these little symbols. So technically that's one paragraph. That's another paragraph. Okay. So back to our assignment, paragraphs. So now we have paragraphs here. You'll see here in just a minute what it looks like in Dreamweaver. So just bear with me and just keep showing you a little bit here in Microsoft Word. An ordered list means watch, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. By the way, this is all you need to do for this. I mean, this is the kind of text you need for the assignment. You don't need to, we're just getting you some exposure to the various commands. So here's an ordered list. Watch this. Select these and click the order button. Bam. That's considered an ordered list. It automatically numbered it. All right. Now let's see. Oh, sorry, that was it was supposed to be an unordered list. Let's do that again. Select those. Not an ordered list is the numbers. This is the unordered list. So go like that. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. And you select these and click ordered list. So this is unordered. And unordered list and unordered list, and this is an ordered list. See, then it's numbered, this isn't numbered. Okay, so all right, so that's it for what's on this page. So I'm going to do, once again, this is in Microsoft Word, but I'm going to do a file, save as, and once again, this time, we can call it text.html, yeah, text.html, and we'll go to HTML file format, and we click save. Then let's come back over here to Dreamweaver and see if we can open that file. File, open. There it is, text.html. Click open. And there it is. That looks just like how we did it. So Dreamweaver is kind of like a word processor, just like Microsoft Word. All right, so there's our text.html. And let's just, for the heck of it, see if we click text here, if we click it as a link, gotta get rid of that. Click it as a link, let's see if that little file comes up. Well, it's in the editor, so maybe it's not coming up for me. I'm kind of expecting it to come up, but this one here, it's not. All right, no worries, let's move on, keep going with these concepts here. So now you're getting a little bit of a feel for what these things are. All right, next, images.html. So let's come back here to Microsoft Word. We can quit out of this one. Whoops, I didn't mean to quit out of Microsoft Word. I meant to just quit out, write that file. So hold on one second. Let me get back into it. Okay, so file, new document, and I didn't even need to do that. Okay. Back to the assignment. Let me maximize this. Okay, now we're going to add a logo, an image with a border, an image with a caption, alternate text. So here's to insert a picture. We want a logo. So picture from file. Logo. Do I have one anywhere to add? On a logo. I wonder if I've got one that I can add. It would be just a graphic. Let me quickly put one, just any kind of logo. Let me get one onto my drive that I will add. Did it already insert? No. Okay, so click insert. A bit big. It's going to be a pixelated, well, make it smaller. So let's pretend I had a logo that's fairly small. You can add your own logo. Next thing, image photograph with a border. Insert pictures. Oh man, let's use that one. It's not adding. Oh man, maybe not. Change my mind. Okay. From file. Similar thing, just a graphic or let's see, photos, private, personal. Let's see. Small, or maybe just 2 photos. Could use him. Could use George Bush. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so then picture border, and this is just like in Dreamweaver, and we would add a border around it. So an image with the caption and alternate text and image folder. Caption, alternate text in an image folder. So that would be insert pictures. Okay. That's interesting. It reversed. Do a caption down here.
Sorry.
Let's see. All right. to the assignment. So you've got that. Okay, and then we save this one out, file, save as, and let's get back to where we were. Because you always want to save the files back in the same folder where you've been saving it, because these files need to live together. Work, week 2. Images.html. Click save. Forgot to change it to the HTML format. And then we click save. So you come over here and you'll see, again, my goal here is just to let you see that the HTML file that you're generating in Microsoft Word is very similar to, oops, I think I meant to open the other one, images. It's very similar to what you would create and generate over here in your, in Dreamweaver. So, links, we just did some links to, so we would create a links page, a video page, table page, and so on. Okay, so we'll keep working on this, but again, my goal, you can see that Dreamweaver is just a word processor like. So I don't want you to be too worried about this, because that's really what we're dealing with. It's just like a word processor. Now there's stuff going on underneath the hood that we'll learn about here in just a second. But so keep that in mind. Don't get too worried about Dreamweaver. Okay, now with that introduction, I'm going to switch gears and now go. Does anybody have any questions just yet? Obviously, I really haven't gotten to the meat of the learning. We just are about a third of the way there, and so bear with me while we develop this even further. Now I'm going to go to a website called w3schools.com, and it's a free online website where you can learn HTML, CSS, and so forth. This class will be learning much of these first two. So click on Learn HTML, and here you're going to see what, if we took this information here, and let's say we're in Dreamweaver, and we created a new document, and we went into this code view, and you can see about the same thing. I'll just go ahead and select that and paste. So this is pretty much about the same thing. So when you create a new HTML document in Dreamweaver, you start with about this information. But now that's code. So when you click on split, you're going to now see what that renders like up here. So this is like you're using the word processor up here, but down here it's the code. So this is like on top, and then this is under the hood here, if you will. I don't want you to worry about this so much just yet, but I want you to begin to start seeing the connection between the two. All right, so what I did here is I just copied and pasted what we came from here, and we brought it into here and so on, so you can see what it renders like. This is what the browser will make it look like when it opens up the HTML file. So let's go back here. Yeah, Ryan asked the question, so for the assignment, we won't use Word. And that is exactly correct. For the assignment, you don't use Word. Yeah, my goal there was just to lay some foundation for you. So let's move on. So we click try it yourself, and I want you to look at this. Now, hopefully I haven't lost anybody yet. My goal is to kind of go slowly here and to not worry you about Dreamweaver. It's just like a word processor like Microsoft Word. And so here you see two views. You see the code here, and then the render of that here. So let's go back here and look here. In fact, I could probably change this to vertical, split vertically. Click view, split vertically. And so as you can see, this view in Dreamweaver is very similar to this view on W3 Schools. On one side, you have the code. On the other side, you have the rendered web page. See, one side you have the code, other side you have the rendered web page. So this is called split view. And you can do most of the work. As you could see there in Microsoft Word, we were pretty much doing everything we needed to do right here in that more or less the design view of Microsoft Word. We did not need to know the code. So that's important that you realize that you can do a lot just here in the design view, and it will put in the code for you. It programs it for you, the code. So here, I want you to see the correlation. Remember how we did H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Well, this is an H1 right here. And if you look down in here, you can see the corresponding code for that. For right now, you can ignore this. But right here, you can see the corresponding HTML code for this here. So what the browser does is it reads along and it says, aha, you need H1. And so what it does is it says, okay, from this point, right after this bracket, now I'm going to take this text and I'm going to format it using H1. But then when the browser encounters this right here, that means turn off the formatting of H1, and it keeps on going. So the browser actually is like this cursor as it reads along. The browser reads every code and it keeps reading. And so it goes left to right, top to bottom. And right here it says, oh, H1 code. Oh, I need to write this in the heading 1 format. And that's why it shows heading 1 format here. So if we change this to heading 2, 1 is the biggest. 2 is the next size down. Remember how we did heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So if I click over here, click the button See Result, it now has reformatted this into H2. If I change this to a 3, click See Result, it changed it to a heading 3. I can do the same thing. I can do the same thing over here in Dreamweaver. Change this to a 2. And then it automatically updates. I don't have to click a button. It just does it automatically. Change it to a 3. This is a heading 3. See that? Automatically did it. So you can see the connection between the rendered view and then the backend or the code view. By the way, title is the browser reads along and says, aha, I've got a title, and then it puts page title. Well, this page title is what you will always see on the tab. That's where these words would show up on the tab of a web page. So that's what's up there. All right, so that's starting to let you see what's going on with that. Now let's so we got that figured out. Come down here, let's click next chapter and see what's next. All right, so we've got this one figured out. That's what its renders like. This is an introduction to how the HTML is actually formatted. If you look here in Dreamweaver, you'll see all this code here. But technically, it's like it should be indented like this. In fact, this should probably go there. All right, no, actually these are at the same level. Body and head are both. So this would be in one. So what I'm doing is kind of, you don't have to format it like this, your code, because the browser is going to ignore all the tabs anyway, and any kind of spaces in between here, it ignores. These spaces it keeps track of though, but anything down in here, you know, that even by doing that, it's not going to affect anything because there's nothing in here that it needs to render anyway, so it's as if there's nothing there. So when you're outside or between code tags, it's just, it gets eaten or it's just not. Yeah, Scotty asked the thing, we can do the whole thing in split. Yes, definitely, you can do the whole thing in split. So when you're entering the code, you can see how it works. Yep, definitely. That's exactly right. So you can see here, HTML, and then we got a head. By the way, don't get confused between heading and head. Head is actually the top and then the title. See how these little squares are kind of indented? You see how when I reformatted it, it was kind of a little bit indented. That's just for your eyes only, just to kind of understand that these things go together. This box is a self-contained box, either open head, closed head. This is the head section. This is called the body section. Everything that's in the head section does not display on your web page, but when you get into the body, this is stuff between the body tags. This is stuff that's going to be displayed. Now let me say that again. None of this gets displayed on your document. This is actually up on the tab, so it's not really in your document. Everything between the body tags is going to be displayed. So as you can see, I can say page style, you know, I can say this is really my page title, and nothing shows up over here. Why? Because it's a title, and it's a title is up in the head section of your document, and this is all stuff that's not displayable. The stuff that's going to be displayed in this white square area is anything after the body tag and before. This is called a closed body tag, open body tag, closed body tag. See the slash right there? Open HTML tag, close HTML. In fact, I think you can double click on it and it'll find the corresponding close. The reason why we have opens and closes is just as like delimiters. And it means it's kind of like, it's like a big sandwich. Like this is, the HTML is like the outer bread. You know, we got the top piece of bread and the bottom piece of bread. Well, inside, let's say it's a hamburger. So there's the top bun, here's the bottom bun. And then let's say on our hamburger, we have a bunch of lettuce. In fact, let's do a head of lettuce. No, just kidding. So that section here is like a layer in our hamburger. And then here's another layer in our hamburger. And then this would be within, you know, let's say this is our lettuce area and this is our meat area. And this has got, anyways, you can kind of get the, you can see that there's like, it's like sandwiched. And you gotta make sure, if you do it over here, it'll automatically format it for you. So you can either type these codes, and then you have to type these codes. If you do your coding over here, you'll have to type every code. But if you do it over here, you're typing over here, it'll type them for you, all those codes. So body, see, here's the here's the sandwich, here's the hamburger, HTML hamburger, and we've got the lettuce up in here, and then we've got the meat right here. And whatever is in the meat, that's going to show up, okay? And heading, this is heading 1. There's the paragraph. See, that's the paragraph tag, P, and then so on. So let's keep going here. This, by the way, this iDoc type declaration, that's at the top. All that does is, at the very beginning, it's a little bit of a hint to the browser. Say, hey, browser, we're coming and we're going to be an HTML document type. And so just so you know, be prepared, browser, because you're going to start reading HTML. And that's exactly what follows here. So this little thing is a quick top instruction to the browser, just to say, beware, an HTML document is coming. And when I say it's coming, that means follows here in the rest of the file. So So that's what that stands for. It's just a little beware, we're coming. And this is more additional. This is additional information that's a little bit more advanced. You don't need to worry about it. Let me go back to Dreamweaver and see if we do a file, new, HTML. I think that it's just a real simple. I don't think it has anything extra. See that? It just says doc type HTML, but it does have a meta tag in there inside the header. Anyways, I just wanted to see that really quickly because it used to make a very complex doc type HTML. If you go into previous versions of Dreamweaver, you'll see that it would create pretty big doc type thing. Yeah, it would do something like this. The older versions of Dreamweaver, and it would even do this. This is actually a DTD file document type definition. So it was pretty complex how it would do it. Right now, pretty simple, just that. These are the different versions and when they came out. Remember that World Wide Web Consortium I told you about? 1991, they came out with the very first version of HTML. What I mean by that is all these codes that we were learning about, the very first version of HTML was like really simple. It only had a few of these codes. But now we're out down here, HTML5. And look at all the codes. It's just grown more and more and more. So HTML 2.0 was released in 1995. In other words, the standard was defined and released to the world in 1995. And if you're somebody who develops a browser, you're going to pick that up and then start developing a browser according to this standard. 1997, HTML 3.2, 99, 4.01, and 2000, they went with XHTML. That was actually a very stringent rule. Just so you know what that means, it's actually HTML that it was so stringent about the rules of opening and closing tags and so on that they made it, they added an X in the front because it was like XML. XML is a very rigorous data transfer mechanism, and they just decided to lump HTML in XML. But if you do that, you have to follow the rules of open close tags that are very precise, and so they call it XHTML. Anyways, 14 years later, we now have HTML5. Now, just so you know, HTML5, one of the big focuses of HTML5 was to be able to do what Adobe Flash can do, which is embedding video and doing animation and so on. So the combination of HTML5 plus the CSS3 that has been released makes it so that you can do a lot with in HTML, a lot more than you could do in the past. So let's go on. Let's keep going here and see how we're doing here. So it says here, write HTML using Notepad or TextEdit. Well, that's kind of what I was doing a moment ago, but I was actually using Microsoft Word, which is actually a beefed up thing. And here they're actually just wanting to do it in Notepad or TextEdit. So I could just create a new document, and I could type this out, or I could just paste it because it's in my paste buffer. But what I want you to know, I'm joking around with you because I could have typed all that out exactly like it is. But what I want you to understand is these documents are actually text documents. They're not like a Microsoft Word document, because had we saved these documents in the regular Microsoft Word format, it would have saved out a file with a .docx. Let's do all this pretend gibberish here. If we do a file, save as, and the document that gets created by default is a .docx file. See that right now? It used to be just a binary file format, meaning you couldn't really open it in a text editor, but now I'm pretty sure that it is an XML-based format, not HTML, but actually an XML-based format. And that's, I think I'll do that during the break. In fact, talking about breaks, let's get warmed up for a break here really in a minute here, because I'll just save that out. So back to back to this. So you can create an HTML in a text editor. Other developers are using things, other editors. I don't know if what I've got. There's Atom is one editor. So they basically are text editors. What other ones? There's let's see. There's one that starts with an S. Can't remember. It's just a text editor. Anyway, so once you save this, you can do a file, save, and let's call this. Let's put this back. Why don't I put this in back in our folder? I'm going to do sample.html. See, now I don't have, this is just a text type. So HTML files are actually text-based. They are not binary. And so if I go over and find that document and then double click on it, it will open in my browser. Okay, so which one was, let's see, I just saved it and I called it sample.html, there it is. So I'm gonna double click on it and you can see the application that's registered with it is Google Chrome. So if you just do a double click, it'll open up in Google Chrome. If you do a right click, open with, you can actually open, because it's an HTML file, you can, all these other applications are capable of either opening, viewing, or editing the HTML file. So let's do this. Let's just do open. Default behavior, it's going to go open. Google Chrome will read it and render it. Watch this. Bam, there it is. So here it's rendered, and it was just a text file. So that's what they were trying to say here, that you can just use text edit to generate. You just type in the HTML. Do anything like this? Just type it in. Save it, save it out. Make sure you do a .html, do that, or .htm or HTML. So you can see right here, it's either HTML or HTML. It doesn't really matter because the browser will open up both and it will recognize both. So it's just my first heading, and there it is right there. This is the heading. We actually did a little bit different. So let's see if I took this, copied it, and then went back here. Select everything, paste it, do a Command S to save. I just basically changed this file underneath. This is the HTML. If I come back here, it doesn't update. I have to actually press refresh, and then it rereads the file that I just saved. See, I changed it from my first, whatever it was before, to this. So you can see a browser will not, just because you change the file on the disk, doesn't mean the browser is going to say, oh, you changed it, I think I'll update it. It doesn't do that. You actually have to say, hey, go reload it. And so you can say something like, so watch this. Let's see, this is my first paragraph. You don't want to type inside these codes here because those are important codes that you just leave those characters separate there. Aren't you proud of me? Now, I just typed it. I haven't saved it yet. I'm going to save it right now. Command S to save. Now, see, it hasn't updated. And this is the point I'm making to you. Even though we changed the file on the disk drive, browser doesn't care. It says, I'm not going to go out there and reload it and reread it. You have to tell me to. So that's when you click refresh, what you're saying to the browser is, hey, could you go reread that HTML file and re-render it? So watch this. It says, this is my first paragraph. Aren't you proud of me? Watch this text right there. I click reload, and there it is. This is my first paragraph. Wow. I don't think it liked the exclamation or the, man, it did not translate this. Oh, you know why? Because HTML actually, any special character like that, you have to instead of, you can see how it reacted. There's actually a way, this is kind of strange, it's a little off topic here, but HTML for apostrophe. So right here, what's the HTML code for apostrophe? And this is it. So watch this. I'm going to select this. This is a little bit advanced. Don't worry about knowing what I'm doing here, but I just needed to correct the problem there. So sometimes instead of using these certain characters, you actually have to put in a code for that character. And that code is saying, hey, can you go look up in the table of all the codes, get me number 39, and then the semicolon is the end of it. Now, that kind of looks funny. I'm going to save it, Command S, and I come back over here to sample, and I press refresh, and there, it fixed it. So don't worry about that. I wasn't really expecting that to happen, but I just wanted to show you that sometimes the browser takes these single quotes, or it takes other things and does funky things with it, and that's why it does that. So watch this. This is a copyright symbol. I think I just do this COPY. I think that's a little nickname. So you can either grab a character out of the character table with its reference, its number reference, or you can actually have these little acronyms. So I'm going to do just like this. And there, see that right there? That's a copyright symbol. So the browser has a limited set of characters that it likes to display. And to go outside that limit, you have to do special things. And you know, there's like, I don't know, 256 characters that it's willing to display normally. If it's outside that limit, and the quote mark apparently is outside that, what it's willing to display. What's funny is it handled this exclamation point just fine, but the quote mark it didn't like. So that's why we had to translate it in here. Same thing here. You know, this copy, this is a little code for this symbol right there. All right, let's time it's 8 o'clock. Let's take a break. Let's do an 8-minute break. And if you have any questions, just feel free to chime in.
I've got a question.
Shoot.
With the coding, are we able to touch base with you throughout the week as we're working on this if we have any issues, or to have you just take a look at it, see if we're on the right track?
Yeah, you bet. I'd be happy to. That'd be cool if we had like a shared website where you guys could work on the website, and then I could sit there and monitor your web page, and I just click refresh, and you guys work on each of your web pages. That'd be awesome, instead of having to send the files back and forth.
Well, the other thing is just set up a time to where we could come in and do a share screen, like we do with the Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll set up some lab times. In fact, Christy posted her lab time. She's great at HTML. You can go when she's there, for sure. All right, so we've come a long way in just 1 hour. This is your introduction to the world of HTML. Let me ask you this: what are your current observations? In other words, after an hour of seeing this, what are the ahas that you have? Is any light bulbs turn on, or has anybody said to themselves, "Oh, that's not as hard as I thought," or are any of you saying, "Oh man, it's a lot more complex than I thought"? Can anybody just share their impressions up to this point?
Mine is, holy crap, I'm super rusty.
Oh. Okay. Ryan says, for me, I feel less intimidated than I was before this class. That's great. That's good to hear. How about you, Christopher? What's your impression? Yeah, it's all new to Mary. I want you to I want you to just to kind of take some solace and comfort in the concepts of this is just a really a like a word processor. It's really all Dreamweaver is. This stuff over here, you can let it generate. The reason why it's got to do that is because we have to go into a text-based format. It's one thing for us to put the content in here. See, the content is, this is a heading. It's another thing to stylize that content, such as the H3 code.
Mr. Brown.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I personally am finding that it's not as intimidating as I thought it would be. But on the flip side, I'm actually kind of glad that I ended up getting the information that I did while I was still in the web design program, because I switched over to graphic arts. And right before I did, I took the think of it in a minute, the programming logic course, and I'm finding that that helped a great deal.
Okay. Good. I want you to keep in mind the concept of content versus the concept of stylizing that content. Remember how we're trying to make this distinction between those two, because we really want the textual content to be in our HTML, whereas the stylizing instructions, we really want to have those come over from CSS, cascading style sheets. So they're just two different worlds. The goal is to keep presentation separate from content. Content, just the words that you're reading, versus the presentation. Those are the style instructions. The CSS ends up becoming a coded way for me to communicate to the browser how I want the text, the content to be stylized. So they keep the two separate. The coding that holds the content in place, that's the HTML, and the coding that gives the instructions for the stylization of that content, that's in the CSS. Yeah, so if it's your first web design class, I want you to just think about creating page layout and pretend like you're just, that a web page is just creating a page layout, and then let Dreamweaver do this coding over here. It's 8:02, so we've got like 2 minutes to go. Save HTML, view the HTML page in the browser. We did that. The browser reads HTML. See here, to open a file in the browser, double click on the file or right click with and choose open with. Remember how we did that? Okay, got this figured out already. Here, let me wait 1 more minute. So back to the assignment. Remember, it says headings, but it should say headings. So headings. Right here. See that? H1 slash H1. That will H2 slash H2, H3 slash H3. This is what the text file has to do. Microsoft Word only renders the file, but underneath, if you save it as an HTML, it's going to show these codes in there. So see that? Heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See over here, it looks like it's all the same size, but because these little codes in there, the browser is going to render it like this. It's the only way for you to communicate to the browser these instructions, by putting them in text codes like this. Remember the sandwich, the HTML hamburger sandwich, and then we don't have a head section in there. We just have the body section. What's within the body is what you're going to see in the rendered area. All right, let's go on. So you've got that. Paragraphs. The way you delimit paragraphs, I think you may have seen that, is open P. I say open just because it's the open tag. Open P, close P. Open P, close P, open P, close P. This is how you separate a paragraph. So the effect of this close P is it ends the line and then it wraps a new line and starts over. So so close P ends it and then wraps it a new line and then moves on. So that's a paragraph. You got to put the P and the closed P around the whole thing so that it kind of is separated. Here's a link. Now remember we started working with links a minute ago in Microsoft Word, how we created that. Let me see if I can just bring it up really quickly here. Index. So we inserted a link. We went insert, hyperlink. And what that does is it puts a little link. So now when I mouse over it, my mouse changes to a hand. Well, the hyperlink is an anchor tag. Oh boy, I keep forgetting where I've got everything. Let's see. There it is right there. Okay. This is a little bit more involved here. So when we have something inside the tag that's like light red here, it has an equal. See, the anchor tag is, see, it's like that. But you can't just have an anchor tag without telling them where to link to. So instead of just having an open bracket, a closed bracket, like we do with paragraph tag, we have to, before we do the closed bracket, we have to shove in a little extra information. And here it is right here. If you're adding additional information before you put the closing bracket, you are creating attribute. These are attributes. That's an attribute. href. Can't even tell you what href stands for, but I can tell you what it is. See, it's really important that you do href equals and then a quote, and then this is the website you're going to go to. So this is an anchor tag, but you have to tell it where you got to go. So, quick try it yourself. And by the way, on the assignment, that's referring to right here, a link to an external website, same page, and a link to an external website, new page. I'll show you that here in a second. So this is really the opening anchor tag goes all the way to here. And this is the close anchor tag. That's considered an attribute of the anchor tag. Paragraph, you don't see any here. We're not using any there, but here we have to use this because we have to tell the browser where to go if the person clicks on this. So watch this. So put my mouse over it, click on it, and it's going to go there. Now watch this. Let's change the anchor to, come right over here. I'll just change it right over here. Google. See result? Now we're not going to Google yet because we have to click on it. Then we go to Google. I don't think it's letting us to go to Google for some reason. Maybe it doesn't like that. Let's try our home page. There we go. So I just changed the link, and it changes where we go when we click on it. Amazon.com. See result. Click on it, and off we go to Amazon.com. Well, or not. I guess these guys are a little smart. So for some reason, it's not letting us open this, and it's not going to a new page, not a new window. So what's weird is some of these websites are working, some of them aren't. This HTTP actually stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's really the backbone of the protocol that browsers talk to web servers. It's a layer, a protocol on top of a layer called TCP/IP, which is the IP layer is really that protocol. So you always have to put an HTTP : / because it's actually the protocol that is, well, let me just try it. I'm going to try it without. I want to see if it's smart enough. And I'm going to go to our web page because we already know that worked on the link. See, the link turns from purple to blue. That's because it's not clicked on yet. Oh, that's weird. Oh, see, I think it didn't like that I took out the HTTP : So let's try it. Click see result, click on it, and it works. Yep, so it wants you to include that. Definitely, it's the protocol that the browser needs to know. So that it then translates it, and then you put in the website address. All right, so let's keep going here. HTML images. Remember, we kind of like using CSS to include our images, but that's a little more advanced. And so for right now, we'll just go ahead and take advantage of what HTML allows you to do. And by using the image tag, img, you can insert an image. Now, how many attributes do we see here? How many attributes are we using for the image tag? Does anybody know? If you don't know, just put a question mark. If you want to guess, you can put your guess spot followed by a question mark. Christopher says 4. Ryan says 4. Very good. Okay, you get it. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the values. So SRC, what's important with SRC, the image tag says, hey, you guys, I got an image. I really want to show you this image. Well, the source attribute, the SRC or attribute, is the file name of that image. Now, the alt attribute is actually a word. It looks like a website address that we're going to, but the alt is just a word or words that are displayed just by mousing over the image that's being shown. So this is saying, hey, if anybody just mouses over the image, just show them this word. Width here is an attribute for the width. This is, remember how I told you that you could overwrite the the width and height of an image just by putting in the numbers. So regardless of what that image is, it's OTSchools.jpg by itself, inherently, this is going to say, we're going to stretch you or contract you to 104 pixels wide and 142 pixels high. Now, you might be saying, okay, I get it. There's your tag. Then you might ask me, where's the closing tag? And that's the mystery, because certain tags don't need to be closed. And here's the reason, because we put all the information right within the tag, and it's not like we have any words to show from a open to a close. Those aren't pertinent at all, because all we're doing is displaying a graphic. So that is how that works. Let me see if there's a question. Will care of the end finishes the tag. Okay, so I'm looking at Sky's question now. Within the body, it will show all the stuff we have to have, like headers, paragraphs, an unordered list, an ordered list. That's correct. It will kind of look like this. Yes. Body. Yep. That's right. Header. Yep. That's perfect. Good job, Scotty. H2 header here. Yeah. I'm looking at your text message and so on. That's exactly it, Scotty. You got it. With each HTML setup, that list. That's right. You got it. Open tag, close tag.
I've got a question for you.
Right.
For the images, when we put an image in using the image source tag, for the assignment with writing it in Dreamweaver, are we going to have an actual folder that it comes out of?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because if we just type in the image source and say it's our logo.jpg, it's not going to pull up that logo.
Unless it's sitting in the same folder as the HTML document. So
okay.
Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. What I'm saying is, just because it's sitting in the image folder doesn't mean that that's the only way to reference it. So insert an image, and I'll do something like this. See, document relative path, we have to first save it. And it wants us to save it first. Now, see over here, so we just insert the image. Look over here. It automatically added our image tag. See that? Image, there's the source. This is the full path to where it can find that file. And the reason why it's got a file : / is because it's actually what it's called. We were looking at the HTTP : protocol a minute ago. Well, file : protocol means just grab it off the hard drive. So grab it off the hard drive, and this is where you find it. Macintosh HD, that's the name of my hard drive. User subfolder, chip brown, Dropbox, all the way down, and there's the image. So there's the source, and Alt is down here. You don't have to have these in order, by the way. Attributes are order independent within the tag. So source, and then width and height, and Alt. So again, the order of the attributes is irrelevant while it's within the tag. By the way, it's kind of interesting. See how they did a slash? That's kind of, I kind of forget the name of it. When you have a single tag that doesn't need to have its own, like an opening tag and a closing tag. Because see, paragraph tag, you need an opening tag and a closing tag. Here, we don't have an opening tag and a closing tag. They're killing two birds with one stone. It's open here, but they actually are putting a slash thing just to say they closed it. I kind of forget what that is when you have a particular tag. It can be opened and closed, all in the same tag, without doing it separated. I think it's like I I'm not even going to try to guess. These are all attributes, so didn't even know you could have a title for a paragraph. How about that? So more attributes, and let's move on and see how we got headings. We know what headings are. Paragraphs, we know what they are. Styles, that is a see, we're starting to get into CSS because of the style attribute. See that style attribute right there? This is an H2 heading, but we're going to add a style attribute, and then the value of it is going to be in quotes there. The color, these come in name value pairs. The color is going to be red. So we have a style. So this instruction right there is impacting this first H2. It's sure enough, I am red. It's the instruction. So styling is what eventually is going to become the responsibility of the CSS file, the Cascade Style Sheets. Right now we've got it embedded in here, but the best place is to pull it out and to put it in its own CSS section up at the top, or typically, or out in a separate file. But there's always a value of being able to specify style right within the tag, because that's called inline styles, and that way you can just target the exact thing that you want to, for example, in this case, be colored red, or in this other case, colored blue. So they call this inline styles when it's built right into the tag as an attribute. Styles formatting. Formatting is, see the bold, the B? That's actually turn on the bold, turn off the bold. Open B, close B. Strong is actually it's better than using bold, just because they're kind of phasing out bold. I don't know why, but using the word strong instead. And I means start the italics. Close I means turn off the italics. So if you look at that, see the italic starts and turns off. You see how the paragraph tag is surrounding it like a sandwich? That's kind of important, just because you kind of want to contain things in on the same thing rather than, the order. Really think of the sandwich. Open the P, close the P, and inside here, this is what you want to italicize, and you want the whole thing to be part of a paragraph. So that's why it's like that. EM also, it's kind of like, it's like italic. So you can use just a little EM, stands for emphasize, and it looks the same thing. So an I or an EM, they're totally interchangeable in the same way that B and strong are interchangeable. You kind of ask the question, why do we have both? And here's the reason. Well, some browsers display strong as bold and EM as italicized. However, there's a strong difference in the meaning of these tags. B and I defines bold and italic, but strong and EM means that the text is important. So there's little variations here, almost like dialects of the HTML language. Okay, so small formatting, that would change the word small. So this is kind of interesting because H2 is really, see the sandwich, H2, and way over here, this is all inside the sandwich. But while you're inside the sandwich, we're going to do something, we're going to step it up. We're going to say, oh, turn on the small, turn off small. So here we are inside the sandwich, H2, but we turn on small, and so it's no longer H2, because this is overriding it. And then we've got small, and then back to H2 formatting, because when you close the small tag, you're back into the world of the H2 tag that you had started. You can do deleted, marked. What does marked look like? It's like just the mark tag turns on yellow, turns it off. Deleted, that is DEL. So look what the blue will look like. See it? It looks deleted. And then you do that by putting in the DEL tag around it. Open DEL, close DEL. Insert, that's underlining it. U is also underlined. Subscript, watch what it does. See how it comes down? So we put the word sub, the tag sub does that. Superscript, this is up on top. Again, you use this word soup, S-U-P, and turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, and then what is in between will be superscripted. Here's a little list. All right, how are we doing so far? How are we doing? How's everybody doing? Yeah, see, Scotty asked, the image can be whatever we want as long as it is non-offensive or inappropriate, and same goes for video. That's correct. A logo, an image with a border. So headings, we know that, H123, paragraph P tag, unordered list. Let's jump to that. Come down here, where's unordered list? There we go, right here, click lists. Unordered list, dot, 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 ordered list, 424, and check this out right there. This is what it looks like under the hood. UL starts up the unordered list, U for un, L for list. U for unordered, L for list. Now, it closes down here. So there's the sandwich right there. Inside the sandwich, we have 3 layers. And it stands, LI stands for list item. And then that's the item it is, and then close it. List item, T, close it. Just then, okay. Now, let's see, list item. So that's unordered list, the UL. If we want an ordered list, there's unordered. So each list item adds a new bullet point. This is going to be a little bit different here. See the disk bullets. I guess you can even stylize the bullet points. Look at that. Check that out. Okay, just a circle. The stylization, so we're stylizing the UL bullet point. That's what that is. A style tag, attribute, plus its value. You're basically making that little circle right there, instead of just a dot. If you want a square bullet, do type list style type. That's the name value. So it's the name. There's the value. The name. And then type equals none. Watch this. No bullet points. If you don't want any bullet points, but you like the list, just do that. Okay, so we just got through doing unordered list. Unordered list means you're just going to do bullet points. An ordered list, and that's this next thing here. See that? Unordered list is the UL. Ordered list is the OL. So right here, we do OL. Type equals 1. Close order list. Now let's look and see what that looks like. See it? It automatically numbers. See that? You don't see any numbers over here. It's because it's generating, the browser is actually generating automatically because it knows it's an ordered list. Oh, that's interesting. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't know you could do that. So here it's an ordered list, but you make it A, B, C, D, E. So watch this. If I just did, I'm gonna copy this. and paste it, you know, like 10 times. And watch this. Click this over here, and it's going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. See that? It automatically does this. You don't see the A, B, C, D, E, F, G over here because the browser knows it's an ordered list, knows it's typed alphabet, and then every list item you add, it will automatically put A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Again, type A. If we took that out, it would change to number because that's the default. Okay. Yeah, this site's good, very good site. I talked to the associate dean and asked her if I could use this site to help, and she said yes. So I was really happy. Okay, so let's go back here. So we got unordered list, ordered list. We got those done. At least we've covered them, you know. A logo, that's just an image tag. Another photograph, the border. Okay, let's talk about the border. I don't even know if they'll do, let's see, HTML images, but do they do one with borders here? Border is a style. So I just search for border, and if you click try it yourself. So right here is the image tag. SRC, that's the source, the file it's going to go after. ALT, that's the text. Watch this. Watch my mouse. Putting the mouse over it. It's supposed to show me the word HTML tutorial. Hello. Oh, maybe it's because if I were to turn it off. Let's see. How do I turn off image tags? It's really supposed to, like, just by my putting the mouse over, it's supposed to pop up a little thing that says HTML tutorial. I wonder if it's this. Let's take this code. I'm going to copy the code, and then I'm going to come over here in Dreamweaver, and I'm going to simulate this setting here by over here. I'm going to select everything, paste my code, click over here, and it renders what I've got here. So the thing I wanted to find out is, see, we don't have smiley.gif nearby. We had another graphic we can reference. This one here. Oh, you're asking about images folder. Yeah, you don't have to put images in the images folder, but I think the assignment wants you to. Let's see here. An image with a caption. Let's see, an in image folder. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put that image in an image folder. Let's do this. I'm going to do right click, new folder. I'm going to call it images. And it's a nice way to keep things organized. We could have left it right here and they would have grabbed it. And then it goes in there. Now, when you move images around, be careful because your HTML files won't know that you moved them around and they're going to have to be updated. So be a little bit careful about that. Oh, I'm thinking moved. There we go. Now it is an images folder, and so the path to it is going to have the word images in it, /. So let's come here. Let's see. Let's go into Dreamweaver. Oh, let's see. Yeah, let's just do it in Dreamweaver here. So let me get the name here. Oops. Copy. Paste, and then .png. Now this isn't going to work because the index is the file. Actually, it hasn't even been saved yet. It's because you really have to get this file saved into the same area that the other ones you're saving, because it needs to like have a landing space. It has to land on your hard drive somewhere, so that all references to files will be relative to where it's landed. So let's do this. File, save as. And I'll just do sample2.html. So I have to get it to land. The HTML file has to land on the drive because then everything relative to it. Now, this is not going to work when I click over here. The reason why it's not going to work is because the place where I had it land is up here in this folder. See the sample2.html? The image that I want to bring in is down in the subfolder, but my link to it is not, see right here, it's not referencing that subfolder. It just thinks that it's right there, but I've actually moved it away from being right there and into the subfolder. So let's type in the subfolder, images /. I'll do Command S to save, and then click over here, and it didn't work. It still thinks it's an unsaved document, and yet it says sample2. Why didn't that work? I'm really expecting that to work. Let me see, file, save as. Okay, I'm a little bit confused why this isn't working. So, I'm gonna, here's, by the way, here's another thing you can do. You can actually drag and drop images right into, just like you can in like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Photoshop. You can do the same thing here. So let me see if I can minimize this. I really want to drag it. You gotta kind of like have to resize these things so that you can drag. Oh man, where's my file? I'm trying to find my, I'm trying to, there we go, grab it like that. I need to make space for this. Okay, so let me see if I'm going to delete this. You got to delete, in order to delete the image tag, you have to delete before the bracket all the way to the closing bracket. So let me just drag this all the way over here. You got to drag it. Oh man, oh, it's not working because I'm not in. No way. Let me try it again. I'm going to do insert.
What did your coding look like before when you were trying to put it in the folder?
I'm going to back up. I'll show you. There it is.
Put a / in front of images.
By doing that, that makes it come off the root. And it's not. It's not in the root. It's relative. It's right there. It should be right there. Let's see here. Okay, now there's the path. That's the exact same path I did before.
I was having issues with mine showing up too. It said something about the fireworks HTTM thing. That's why my images weren't showing up. I was getting an error message. So I just had to delete it and redo it a couple times.
I hope we're not running into a bug. That would not be good, but I'm going to try opening up an older version of Dreamweaver. I'm going to take the same code just because I want to just be sure it's not a bug. I'm going to do File, New, HTML. Let's just do none on the layout. And then go into Split View, select all of this, delete it, paste it, click over here. I haven't yet saved it though. I've got to save, or I could have just opened that other file, I guess. save it. You always gotta make sure it lands on your hard drive somewhere. CIU classes DS 2.1 work. And then we'll call this sample 3. Properties, go right to it. And that works. Huh. Why does it think that I'm up in that folder? Bring down the size here a little more. Okay, so it thinks that I'm up higher. When I say higher, I mean in the where does it think I am? Up here. Oh, okay. I am up there. I'm up here. Where did I save the sample 3? I saved it up here. I thought I'd saved it down in here. So let me go down in here, and we'll save sample 3 here now, and it'll stop working. So watch this. Update links. It says, hey, you just changed where you landed on your hard drive. And I know that I used to be up a folder, and now I'm being saved down a folder, and all my links are going to be broken unless I update them. So watch this link right there. I'll say yes, and it updated the link, but it went a little bit, kind of did overkill. It took off the 2.5 off of the above there, but it also updated these links here. It not only updated the links to the graphic, because it knew that I was saving it elsewhere, in a folder deeper, and so it updated. It took off the 250 or whatever it was, 2015, whatever I had, 1215, because now this file landed on the hard drive right down in this folder. A moment ago, I was up here, and when you're up here, in order to get to that image, you had to go through this folder, hit that folder, then hit this folder, then do that, and that's why you saw that full path there. And like I said, when we decided to save it here, a folder lower, it didn't have to. It just went through and updated all the links, because now we don't have to go down in the 201512 folder. We're already here in that folder. And so it updated links. So now we just, from here, we only have to go images, and then, and then there we have it. So that's that. Let's jump back to the assignment here. So that's being in an image folder, an image with a caption and alternate text. So alternate text. Let's see, there it is right there. So let's see, this is my logo. See, I put it within the quotes here. That's the alternate text is the alt attribute. Okay, so that's what it means when here it says alt text. In image folder, we got it in an image folder. See that? It's in the images folder. That's where I moved it. And a caption. Now, a caption simply means something written underneath, and Now there's a good enough caption for me in this example. All right, so we got a caption, alternate text, got an image folder, image. Oh, did we do the border? I think we were working on border right here a minute ago. And let's see, did we retain the border? All right, let's add this styling attribute. So you can grab this attribute and go all the way to the semicolon. And let's see, I think I have to go, yep, I have to go up to the quote because this is actually quote to quote. Copy that, and then I can come back over here, and you have to be really careful where you drop this in. You have to go inside that, give it a space, we can do paste, and so now, let's see, width equals 42 pixels. So it's actually overriding this width instruction. And that would be conflicting. So let's pull this out. The width attribute. So it's a little bit redundant sometimes. You can actually have attributes, but also you can have styles that impact the same attribute. So a little bit redundant there. It's simply a little bit of a transitional thing as we move into the world of styles. And so, we got the alternate text, we got style with colon 42px. So that's the name and that's the value, semicolon, another name. Kind of looks like the attributes that we saw a minute ago. And then the value, 42 pixels. And here's another name and its value. So we're going to change the border to, let's say, 5 pixels wide. Click over here, and let's make our height and width. Click here. I got that. Now border colon 5. It's not working. Colon 0. The spine graph. I want a border. Say, I'm not getting that. Apologize. Give me a second.
I think things are glitchy with it because I'm not getting images to show up like you just did in the images folder either.
Yeah, I think I'm in Dreamweaver CS6 right now because I switched gears just to make sure it wasn't a question of bugs in the new software. So let's go look for border. Let's click on border, CS, or let's just do HTML image. Let's see if it, so it's a border colon 5. So I'll pull it out of this style here, just for grins. And you're noticing that the word border is also an attribute. So border, I think this is gonna work. And click here, there we go. So for some reason the border style didn't work, but the border attribute did. So now we have width and height inside the style, but we've got the border inside the tag as an attribute. So that's the border here. Okay, an image, photograph of the border, image with a caption. Okay, so we got that done. Or at least you understand the concepts of that. Let's move on to a link to an external website. I think we did that already with the anchor tag. An internal, it's an internal, same page, new page. All right, this is kind of interesting because same page, new page means when you click on it, it'll bring it into the same tab that you're on. New page means you click on it, it'll bring up a new tab when you click on it. So HTML anchor blank underscore blank. So the anchor tag, I don't know why I didn't see it over there on the left, but oh, there, scroll down, there it is. Okay, here's the anchor tag. And if you want to, same page, that's not it. And we can get rid of that. and it's the anchor tag. So if you want to go to the target is the attribute you use in order to do these other two. External website, same page, external website, new page. What that translates into is the target attribute of the anchor tag. So let's click on that. And so this is a little bit hard to find, so I'll go ahead and paste this link so you guys can there's the link to this. That was a little bit hard to find. So, okay, here we go. There's the anchor tag. There's an attribute for where to go when you click on it. But look, we have a new attribute called target. And the value of underscore blank means that you've got underscore blank, underscore self, underscore parent, underscore top, frame name. So underscore blank, if you use that attribute, just like this, target equals underscore blank, then it opens link document in a new window or tab. See this right here? New page. So what they want you to do is something like that. The blank means give me a new screen, man. So if you try this, watch what happens. When we click on this link, watch what happens up here. See that? It goes to that page, but it puts you into a new tab. And when you exit out of that tab, you come back to where you were. Now, the other question here is link to an external website. Oh, link to an external website, same page. Now, the same page is different here because underscore self will bring you to the same page. So if I change this over here to underscore self, let me see how it reacts in this editor here. SELF, click see result, click right here and watch what happens. See, it did it inside the frame. It did not bring up a new one. Underscore blank brings up a new window. Underscore self means just stay where you are. So that's what that is. Same page is underscore self, new page is underscore blank. Now let's do an embedded YouTube video. All right. Okay, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do an embedded YouTube video. Let's go to YouTube, pick a video, and then right here, click share and click embed and copy that right there. And then you come back to your video page, video.html. We haven't created that one yet. So let's do this. File, new, HTML. This is CS6. Maybe I should get out of CS6 because you guys are using CS5. Okay, so we're doing the video down here in the body section. See, I'm in between the open body tag, closed body tag, and I just paste it. It's an iframe. And all this has been generated by YouTube website. So it's an iframe, attribute of width, height, source is an attribute. That's what video to do. Frame border means you want to frame around it, yes or no. Allow full screen is turned on. So if a person could click on the full screen thing. If you pull that out, then they couldn't. Now let's save this one as, and I'm in Dreamweaver, so I just do file, save as, and this would be videos.html. Click save. And that's it for that one. We're done. Oh, it should have been video.html. So I better change that. File, save, because it's really picky about this. So let's just create a new file called video.html. Click save. And I think I can do file save as, and I think I can go delete that videos. Here, let me try it. Oh, Thought I could. Oh yeah, check it out. Loose trash. See, I didn't want the videos. I wanted just a video. All right. So next is. Oh, Scotty, the caption to work under, you can just type any word. Make sure it's outside the image close bracket. Okay, so an embedded YouTube video. Okay, so we got that video HTML. Now, last but not least, the table. We're almost done here. I'm going to go over just a few minutes. See, table. So, come back here. Let's go. A table, by the way, is kind of getting a little bit out of date. So let's scroll down here. Tables aren't being used so much these days. They're nice, but so click on table. See, I'll just do this. Copy. I'll give you this link. You know, it'd be nice for me to like put these links right in the, you know, the assignment. So all you gotta do is click on this. I think I'm gonna do that. Rather than having you go look for it, I think I should just create links in here so that you just click on it and it jumps to right to the page that explains it. I think I'll do that later. Okay, so table tags. Now a table, this is a little bit tricky here. See the sandwich? Open table, close table. Now, the table tag sandwich is made up of a TR section, open TR, close like a sandwich there. And these, it's rows. TR stands for table row. A TH stands for table header. And TD, I don't even know what, I think it's data, table data. So let me show you what it looks like. See what it does? It creates a nice little table. And they're kind enough to put some CSS styling in there for us. So if I just copy this third row, you got to grab the whole thing, copy it, paste, 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 come over here, and it just automatically adds it to the formatting. See how that works? The TH is the header. See that up here? That's a little bit different than TD. The TH is stands for header, and it centers it and bolds it automatically. That's what it's a special tag there. So table, open table, and then TR is start a row off, and TH, so that's the first header column, second header column. And then corresponding down here, the TDs are standing for the data. So TD is for the first cell of data. The next TD is for the second cell. See how that goes? Then we jump down to the next row. See that? And we're hitting the next row here. TD is the first data, second, and next TD is the second. Open and close, open and close. Okay, so let's say we want a simple 2x2, simple 3x3, and simple 4x4. Okay, well let's get this done. All right, so I'm in the try it editor, and here's what I'm going to do. Okay, a 2x2. Let's do this first one, and I'll pull all this out. And then what I'll do is copy this, and I'm going to do a table underneath it, paste. This is going to be my, what was the other one? 3x3, okay. So here, I just add another row. We just had 3x3 a second ago, and I got rid of it. All right, well, I'm going to paste this row here, and let's see, February, and let's go, let's see, 200. So now we've got our 2x2, and we're 3x3. By the way, I think I'm going to throw a paragraph tag in here. Open paragraph, close paragraph. Let me see if that looks. Introduces just a little extra line in there. If you want, you can add that. So I'm going to now snag that again, and I'm almost done. We're almost done. And then do paste, and let's see, it's a 4x4, right? Okay, so grab this last row, copy it, paste it, and then we put in February, March. So let's do this. Change it to March, and then let's go to 300. And so then we do see result, and bam. So there's 2x2, 3x3, 4x4. See that? All right, so let's grab this, Command S, Command A to grab it, Command A selects all, Command C to copy, and I'm just going to bring it over here to my Dreamweaver. And I'm going to do File, New, and select all this and delete it and paste it, and there we go. So I built it over in the W3 Schools, but I brought it over here. And I'm going to do File, Save As. See, I can't remember. It's tables, right? Tables. Is it table or tables? Table. I don't know why I'd like to pluralize things. Save. Okay, so I'm looking at your text messages. Hold on. You guys, I haven't been paying attention. Let's see. Comment images show, but can't get the caption. Should just be able to type underneath it. Try to figure out attributes for the image and the caption. That's smart, Sarah. How do you get it to flip up right? For the one image I use is supposed to be portrait, but it's laying down like landscape. Portrait, okay. It's supposed to be portrait, okay. The image itself is going to lay exactly how it truly thinks it is. So we'll have to talk offline about that one because it normally is going to show up exactly how it truly is. So
the reason why I'm asking is because when I put it in there, I have to like tilt my head to see it up straight. But now it's like, you know, when you see a picture that's like a portrait, like that's going up and down, but then when you lay it on its side, you have to kind of tilt your head to. I don't know how to explain it.
okay. All right, maybe. Mary, thank you very much. Oh, Mary's gone already. Okay, Christopher pointed out I was making a mistake, and he's right. I did 2x2 and then a 2x3 and a 2x4, and that's wrong. So the 2x2 is good. Now let's do this this is supposed to be a 3x3. So let's add another head thing here. We'll call it, let's see, month savings cost. And I'll just put something in, add a new row there. Thank you, Christopher, good catch. And then a new row there. So if we're going to add another column, we have to put the header up there and then add the column data. So watch when I click over here, see, it just added this new column, that's the TH cost there, and then it added a new row, TD 200. So it corresponded there. So let me fix this other one, the 4, it's supposed to be 4x4, right? Good catch. All right, so this time, what I think I'll do, 4x4. I think I'll grab the 3x3. Oops. Command Z if you ever need to back it up. Let's see, Command C. I'm going to grab the 3x3, bring it in here, delete, paste. And I'm going to add another header, just introduce a new, this is the column number 4. And I got to throw some more data in there. And so, whoops, let's see, 3, 5, 2, 4, whatever date. Yeah, but oops, I made a mistake there. I accidentally deleted that thing. Okay. Let's say 2015. Okay. So I add the column, here, that's fourth column. Now I got to add the fourth row, column of data. Yeah, let's see there. There we go. 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by. No, wait a minute. I'm missing. I need some more rows. Never fear. Paste, paste. There we go. Quick and dirty. 3 by 3, 4 by. Oops, that's too much. 4 by 4. I think we're good. Thanks again, Christopher. Nice catch. So here we do. We save that. Let's see, file.
But with your headings, aren't your headings the month savings cost date?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, then your bottom one there has your headings and then 3 by 3 underneath. Because doesn't your heading count as something different? Your heading separate and then your 3 by 3? Or is it 4 by 4 total?
You know, I've kind of done 4 by 4 total, but
Okay.
I guess, you know, I see your point. It's, let's see, 2 by 2. I'm just going to go with that. I see your point. You know, like, shouldn't we have 4 rows of data if we're going to do a 4 by 4? And frankly, I think maybe you're right. So maybe
I just wanted to check just because you wanted a heading on there, but then you wanted a 4 by 4 table. So I just wanted to check.
Yeah, I kind of like your thinking. So I'm going to pretend it's 2 by 2, 2 rows of data. So now we've got 2 rows of data, 2 columns and 2 rows of data. Is that what you're kind of saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you meant?
For the
Is that what you're meaning? If we're going to do a 2 by
Yeah.
2, we need 2 columns.
That's
2
what I,
rows.
yeah.
All right, yeah.
You have your headings,
The heading doesn't
which
count.
is separate from your actual table, even though it's part of your table.
I agree with you. Let's see, we got, so I'll just duplicate the data just for grins. Copy, paste. Now, no, see, that was supposed to be 3 by 3, so I pasted one too many rows. Delete. Did I delete the wrong one? Let's see, Command Z. Yeah, I think I deleted the wrong one. I didn't want to delete this one. Okay, so we got 3 by 3. Okay, that's good. And then let's come down here, and I'm going to add another row. See, I just grabbed the sandwich of the TRs there, and then I paste. Come over here, and there we go. So we got 4 by 4. All right, so let's do file save. File save, and this is table. Oh man, it's 9:15. I'm sorry, everybody. File, save, got that. Okay. By the way, we got this all done. Now, let's go back to our index file. And what I'm going to do is do file, new. I'll show you how to create the index from scratch. We had created it from, see there, see this is CS6, I'll bet you. See how complicated this is? See that doc type there? And then see this also, the namespace? All quite complex. This is not HTML5. So let's see, I'm going to bail out of here. Command Q. See, I don't care about saving these because they're not going to be part of, at least that part wasn't going to be part of my assignment. And then I don't know about this one, sample 2. I don't think I need that either. Wow. I just got rid of everything. I mean, the files are still there, but at least the ones I need. Let me get back into Dreamweaver. CS. I'll go to CC 2015. Okay, so now let's see about going back to square one on creating the index file. So I go new, and then just do create. And then over here.
So we don't need to put in a title thing where it says title on that first part that you closed out.
The title up in here, or what?
Now, when you opened up Dreamweaver, it popped up that one screen that says create when you went to new document. See where it says title up there? We don't need to put anything there, right?
You can put whatever you want.
Okay.
So see, it's going to end up right there. See that? What I just typed in ended up right there. See that?
Okay.
This is my title. And so, okay, so over here, let's do the, let's see, it's not working so well over here. I type on the left, and I just don't know if this is buggy. I should just be able to type over there. So if I can't type over there, I'll just type here.
I was playing around with this earlier, and over here on the where the boxes are, if you hit the word header, paragraph, images, it automatically puts it in there for you.
Oh, right over here?
Up above that.
Up in here?
Yeah, right up in this area that's all grayed out now.
Yeah, insert image. I want to do that.
Yeah, I did that.
Paragraph, heading, text, table. There's the table. You can look at that. 3 by 3. Just go for it like that. Insert a 3 by 3 automatically. Isn't that cool? Insert a heading. H1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Table, unordered list, ordered list. Man, you can see I'm just coming up to speed on this new CC 2015. You can just do it. Here's the hyperlink. So, man, it's all like right here. So let's see, the first one is text.html, images, links. So text, in fact, let's just do insert. Let's just see how this works here. Click insert and then hyperlink. And let's just do text. See, it's not letting me type. It's the whole field. Just doesn't let me type in there. Well, anyways, the thing that we're going to link to is the text HTML file. Click open. Let's see, text document relative issues first saved. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and save it. It's an unsaved document, so we'll do file, save as, and this is the index.html. So we'll just overwrite the one that we'd already created. Word had created for us. Let's just overwrite that one. That's fine. And so then now let's see. We're going to let us insert a hyperlink. Text. Gee, it won't even let me type in that field. Stupid. Makes me think it's buggy. Well, maybe I have to, now it enables that field. And here's that target. Remember, we got blank and self. Look at that. You can specify that. You don't have to, but you can. This title is the title for that link. And then you just need these first two, really. So that's text. And now let's do hyperlink. So you can't do it until I select the file that I want. Okay, what was the second one? Images. Got text, got images. Images, click open. And I'll just do images. There, okay. And click OK. Insert hyperlink. What's the next one? Images. See how I had to create these files first, and now I can just go grab them, right? I point to them, Images, what was it? Video, was that the next one? No, images and links. I don't think I created a links one, so I kind of jumped over that, I think. So video, click open, and then here, video, and then here, video table. Let's see. By the way, you can just go like this and bring it down. That's fine. And then insert hyperlink. And then here, what's the table? Table is the last one. Click open, and we'll do table. Click OK. And then we do file save. And when you zip up your files, here's what you want to do when you turn it in. You want to turn in the whole folder. So grab this whole folder where you have been generating your files. And so see, this has been in the folder. So do a right click right here and say compress. And what that does is it creates a single zip file of this whole folder structure, all this in here. It's all in there. And you need to do it like that because there's just a lot of files that you're dealing with, okay? So zip the folder, name your file that, and attach it to the Dropbox. Zip folder containing these deliverables. So, okay, if you have any questions, just feel free to stay. I apologize I ran over tonight. A lot to cover. Let's see, the assessment. Forgot to go over that. I think there might be a problem with this assessment. I haven't had time to double check.
Ain't it just a test?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a
so.
multiple choice test. That's the one that I called and talked to you about the other day that had issues within some of the questions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I did communicate with the associate dean, and she asked me if I told her I would look into it, and yeah, this is it. All right, I've got to work on that tonight too, because she was expecting me to get back to her.
So we should hold off on doing that until probably Saturday then, right?
Hopefully not that long. I hope to get it resolved either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay. The only other question I really have is on this part that we're supposed to type the headers in the Dreamweaver thing. Are we supposed to do the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5?
That would be in your text file. In fact, watch this. Watch this. When I bring up the index.html, if you double click on the index.html, that's this file here. The browser is going to open it up. And there it is. And then if you click text, the text file comes up. Click back, click images, and there's the images file. And then video, there's the YouTube video. And then table, and there's the tables. I missed the links file tonight, but you can do that.
So we have to do this in a Word document first and then transfer it over, or just go straight?
Just go right into Dreamweaver, and or you can either do it like this, with using the insert here. This is pretty handy here.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah, you'll have 5 different files. One that's index.html. Actually, you're going to see 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the links file, plus this index.html, and you'll at least have 8 or 6 different HTML files. You can put your images in the images folder.
So each time we finish one of these list things, we have to save it.
Yeah, it's got to be its own separate file.
Okay.
That's what this is. That's what this it was saying. You do this in each of these instructions is saved into its own separate file. So you would start a new file. You start a new file for index.html, but you can do that at the end. You can maybe the first file you do is the text.html. You save it. You can actually close it. Next file, you do file new images.html. Do that work, close it. next file, file new, links.html, close it. And then video.html, table.html. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different files. Then at the end, you can do this index.html. That's how I did it. Because the nice thing about that is when you go to insert a hyperlink, you can actually pick it. You can just insert hyperlink right here, and it lets you go and pick the file that you want to jump to.
Okay.
So I've already created it by that point. See, they're already created. So you kind of do it backwards. You first create the files you're going to jump to. Then you create the home page file that's going to jump to those files.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Let's call it a night. And if you have any questions, just what I'll do is, because this is kind of a tough assignment, I'll set up some times where I'll make it available. I'll just be more available where I'll just jump in the lab and hang out so you guys can come in for help. And I'll do that. Let's see, what's today, Wednesday? I'll try to do that tomorrow night, possibly Friday, definitely on Saturday, just to be available, okay?
All right. Well, Friday or tomorrow night after 5 and Saturday after 4, the only times I'll be able to jump in. Otherwise, I work. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, have a good night.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good evening.
Chip, could I borrow you real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I share a screen with you in regards to the links for the external internal pages? Setting it up for the site to link to an external website on the same page, it's opening into a new page even though the target is self.
Okay. It's an underscore self?
Yeah. So there's where I was at.
Okay, one sec.
Okay. And then going into the site. Hang on, let me get out of that real quick. See, it's opening on a new blank page.
The screen that you're sharing doesn't show the browser. It's showing Dreamweaver still.
How is it? Gotcha. Okay, hang on. Okay. Do you see the actual page open in the browser now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the first one I'm talking about. That technically should open on this page, correct?
Is that self?
Yeah. So when I click on that link, it's opening it into Yahoo. But this is the coding for it. Right here.
All right, let's go back to it.
Okay.
Okay, close all tabs. Except the one you want.
Okay.
Okay, and click on the link again. Guess what? It is in itself.
Okay. Even though that font doesn't show up, that text doesn't show up?
Well, it's replacing that. When you do
Okay.
self, you're saying, hey, get out of the way, I need this space.
Okay. So it's not opening a new tab like the second one does. It's just putting, see, I was thinking it would show up like underneath that text.
No, it replaces it. It says, move
Gotcha.
out of the way, I've got this spot now.
So this coding is correct.
That's correct.
All right.
Can
Fabulous.
you go back and click the second one? I want to watch it create
Yeah.
a new window.
There you go.
Yeah,
It opens a new one. Fabulous. Cool. Just it's 11:30 at night. It's a little long to be coding right now, so it's one of those. That's why I was like, I'm confused.
No, that works.
Fabulous.
All right,
Thank you,
you
sir.
good?
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
You bet. Bye.